Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask Ms. Ethel, who is the CEO of MoneyMart.
Thank you so much. Let me also write on protocols observed already, and I'll make sure I only have 15 minutes. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Did you have a pleasant night? Good to see you again. So, I'm known as Dr. Ethel Mupambwa, and I'm a financial inclusion evangelist. And I put my picture there so that you see me where I spend my time. I spend my time in the marketplace, in the so-called informal sector, talking to SMEs. And I'm coming from where I have understood what one great man amongst us said. And I call this one First John, because we now have a Second John. He said, financial inclusion plays a pivotal role in the creation of an inclusive economy where all economically active Zimbabweans have an opportunity to create wealth, reduce poverty, and build resilience towards unexpected shocks, as well as participate in the economic development of the country. So we can never ignore financial inclusion when we are talking about the growth of our economy. I'm coming from a digital microfinance called MoneyMart Finance, where we are saying we are the finance partner of the informal sector of Zimbabwe. And by so doing, we are contributing to Sustainable Development Goals 1, 3, 5, 7, and 8. I want to take you to this FISCOP survey, which was done in 2022. The FISCOP survey is really showing us, I hope this one has got a pointer. You see, the agricultural sector is contributing 33%, whilst the wholesale or the retail is on 32%. When I was growing in the dark and dust streets of Nembudzia Gokwe, we were being told, or at least I read somewhere, that Zimbabwe was a breadbasket, meaning that agriculture was moving our economy. But look at the things that are happening now. Only 33% and competing with the wholesale or retail sector. And we are asking ourselves, is this hotel and retail sector contributing 32% coming from our own manufacturing here in Zimbabwe? Believe me, no. Most of these are imports. And we need to talk about this. And as if that is not enough, the SME sector contributed 8.6 billion USD. And we are saying there are over 3.8 million MSMEs in Zimbabwe. And they live in rented accommodation, yet they need to be supported by capital. And our financial institutions are asking for immovable collateral for them to access capital. Does that make sense? Is that logical? What are we saying here? That is not enough. Of the over 3.8 million MSMEs in the informal sector, 60% are women like me. And we are coming from Protect Society, where even if I have immovable collateral, is in the name of Kenneth Mpambwa. How will I prove that Ethel is part of it? It's something that we need to digest. And we are saying the GDP of the country is being contributed by the informal sector at least 60%. That's a significant statistics that we cannot afford to ignore. And hence, we are saying some of the solutions that SMEs should have is affordable and accessible loans, ladies and gentlemen. They also need to have insurances. They are having debts in their families today. They cannot afford the monthly payments that are demanded by funeral services. What are they going to do? Should they go into the small business and take out the little cash they have and finance a funeral? And what will happen to that business which is contributing to the 60% of GDP statistics that we are talking about? Let us digest. What are we doing for us to be able to make sure that all this cash is channeled back into the formal circulation. And my argument is that if we go and be deliberate, sit down with those women in Bari, teach them how to trade on the stock exchange. More so, we now have the VFX, the Victoria Falls Exchange, where we are saying if we put our US dollars, they will be safe. If we teach them how to do it, why can't we go sit down and give them the confidence that was being talked about yesterday to say, put your money here and it will be safe and it can circulate in the formal economy and be redistributed around us, especially in the informal, in the manufacturing sector. Yet we are deliberate as MoneyMart Finance to put my shares here because we want them, as they do everything that they have to do with MoneyMart Finance. We are saying we need to be deliberate for them to click the My Shares icon and also trade on the C trade and put their money in the formal circulation of the economy. This is what we have to do, ladies and gentlemen. That's me there. Taking a deliberate action, going in the communities, sitting down women, teaching them about financial literacy. You know, we don't need 5 O levels for a woman sitting in that marketplace to be told, munoziva mama, mukabaya chibatani ichi, mukadai mari yenyu inozowedzera yakadai, in vernacular, in a language that they understand. I am telling you, we'll go somewhere. We don't even need to screen anyone because of O-level subjects there. It has to be a deliberate action. Let me say it again. The informal sector, the SME sector of Zimbabwe is the one which will change the talk about Zimbabwe that we are having today. These are the challenges that they face. But let me speak to especially the data silos. We have so much data silos in Zimbabwe. We have got a woman who receives diaspora remittances via Mukuru every month. The data that has to help her for your credit scoring to go up, because at least she has some other income that is coming from diaspora. She cannot get a statement from Mukuru. She trades on EcoCash platform. She cannot get a statement from EcoCash for her to prove that this is what I'm doing. This is the income that I'm having. Data silos have killed us as Zimbabweans. It's something that the policymakers have to deliberate on. And let me, as a woman in business, as an SME, have the power to have the right to have my own data and decide what I should do with my data. I want to go to a bank. I go to this bank. They'll tell me they need 3 months bank statement. With their own bank, they will not allow me to go and take a statement with the bank that I've been trading with for them to approve a facility that is favorable that they've introduced. They want me to trade with them first for the 3 months. Come on, guys. Is that fair? But my money has been circulating in the formal sector. Why can you take my bank statement from Bank X and consider it? We need some serious thinking, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to talk about the SME sector. We need an SME Act or manifesto in Zimbabwe. South Africa has done it. Kenya has done it. Nigeria has done it. And there are billions of investments that are going into those countries because the policymakers have made a deliberate decision. And the moment that we have an act as a nation that speaks directly to SMEs, that's the only measurement that we have that policymakers are serious about the SME sector in our nation. Our neighbor, Johannesburg Stock Exchange, has got financing of specifically SMEs, where they're organizing venture capitalists and they're giving as low as, if not about 10 to 13,000 years. What is our Victoria Falls Exchange doing? What is our Zimbabwe Stock Exchange doing? How innovative and deliberate are we going about for the SME sector? But they cannot do that if we don't have the act that speaks to the SMEs directly, that speaks to the tax issues that have been discussed yesterday. Surely, we can never pay the same tax with a full corporate, but it's still being insisted on. Yet, everyone is running away, wanting to trade in cash because they want to run away from the tax regime. But if we have favorable, no, I tell you, the way Zimbabweans are patriotic about their nation, everyone would love to pay taxes. It is the manner that we are collecting them. We have got over 35 branches across the nation. That's how serious we are about what we are speaking in making sure that the informal sector is driving the nation. Thank you so much. We are saying creating wealth, changing lives. It's upon us, ladies and gentlemen, and it has to be in our nation. And we need to change the status quo of Zimbabwe. And the SME sector, I always say it is nicknamed the informal sector because people are not knowing what they're talking about. These are the SMEs that are growing the economies. The same SMEs in Japan that grew the economy of Japan. It was the SME sector that grew the economy of China. And I'm saying, those countries, if they did it, we can do it also. Why not? Thank you so much.